talking about breaking up the basketball, let's jump right back into it. And that is because round two is going on. Now you have the Heat, who have just not swept, but there was 4-1 series against Brooklyn. Now I saw that coming. Most people, I guess, said they didn't, but yeah, it was pretty obvious that those Brooklyn people were not going to. They're just too old. Paul Pierce, you're over the hill. Kevin Garnett, you're over the hill. Not saying that these guys aren't serviceable players still, but they're not the all-star players that they used to be. Darren Williams, who's supposed to be really, a big centerpiece, he's kind of on the backside of his career. And then you have the Lopez twin, who they were really hoping for. He's played maybe 2 out of 5 years he's been in the league, but when he plays, he's like 21 and 7 rebounds, so 21.7 rebounds average. So I mean, they thought he was going to really put them over the hill. I don't think he would have, because all those other players are already over the hill. Ba-dum. Ba-dum. We don't have that sound effect. Okay, but
I think you're getting.
But yeah, okay, I kind of deserve that one. So that's the first series that is wrapped up. The next series that is wrapped up, and this was kind of more of an unfortunate series to see wrapped up, and that was the San Antonio Spurs versus the Portland Trail Blazers. Now that was another 4-1 series. Let me double check my notes. Yep, 4-1 series. Yeah. So I really expected a little bit more out of LaMarcus Aldridge and Damian Lillard. They are still young. This is still one of their first go-rounds in the playoffs, so look for them to be back and really strong next year, but it's looking like San Antonio, they kind of look this way almost every year around this time, like they're invincible, like there's no weakness, there's no chink in the armor, there's no vulnerability, there's no 2-meter gap that you can shoot a torpedo through. Huh?
Yeah.
You get that reference? Chewbacca gets that reference. Let me hear it, Chewie.
Chewbacca does get that reference. He's chosen to ignore it.
But yeah, so yeah, that's happening, and I mean, Tony Parker, he left early in last night's game. They said it was something like a hamstring, but it sounds pretty much like he was like, I'm tired of playing. We're up by 20. I'm not going to play anymore. So yeah, he'll be fine for the next round, and that's probably going to be my prediction, OKC, who's actually playing the Clippers, and they are up right now in that series, 3-2. And you're really seeing Chris Paul take over as a leader when they win. When they lose, you're seeing Chris Paul kind of vanish off the floor. So it's been pretty interesting. Kevin Durant, he's been a little bit up and down, but he's more on the upswing right now. And you know what? He deserves a 1 or 2 down games because he is the best player ever this year in the playoffs. Yes, ever this year. There will not ever be any player better than Kevin Durant this year. That is why he won the MVP award. But yeah, I mean,
and the Chewbacca Chainsaw Award. Don't forget that. He
has won that one. He's won like 10 of those. Like the only person who's won more Chewbacca Chainsaw Awards is Chewbacca, and that's because I have to give him one every week, or else he gets very upset.
Well, it is his award, so
it is. He's like, why don't I get one? And I'm like, I'm sorry, you do get one. I take it back. Here, you actually, can I just give a runner-up an award? Oh, okay, yeah. He actually goes and then nods his head, and so that's my signal that my arms will not be ripped off today. And that's a signal that they might be ripped off. So you never know.
Well, they might be chainsawed off today. Chainsaw.
It could go either way. It's never pretty. But let's talk about the series that are actually going on right now. And I'm going to look to my left real quick. And the Wizards are about to get bounced out of the playoffs. It's 89-76 with 1 minute left in the fourth. So that series, it was an entertaining series. You just kind of saw John Wall disappear. When he was on his game, the last game and the game one, they blew him out. I mean, it wasn't even close. They ran him up and down the floor. But John Wall just hasn't been able to find that consistency this year. And now you did see a resurgence of Roy Hibbert. He showed up really big in a couple games. He single-handedly won him game 2 with about 28 points and 9 rebounds, and he was just on fire. And then he kind of disappeared in some of their losses, but you're seeing him really come on an upward trend. And after the first series against the Atlanta Hawks, this Pacers team just looked like they were beat up. They just didn't have the will in them anymore, and it seems like they've kind of caught fire in this series against the Wizards. Now the Wizards, a great young team. They will be back next year. They will be better next year. So we're looking for them to really improve, but we're going to see the matchup that everybody thought we were going to see, and that's the Heat versus the Pacers. Now, this is really what's best for the NBA because these these were the two best teams in the East. Now in the West, you could look and say 1 through 6. Any one of those guys, two teams being in the finals, and you have a great finals with top talent teams. Not so much in the NBA. If you were past 1 or 2, you weren't so great. So,
although it was surprising to see, like, the Wizards did much better than anyone expected. So they already achieved quite a bit this year by getting as far as they did in the playoffs.
I considered it, as a Wizards fan, I am a homer, as a Wizards fan, I pretty much considered it bonus basketball. That's what it was. It was bonus basketball for me. So I soaked up every minute that I could, and I was appreciative. So just winning against the Bulls, I didn't think they were going to win that one. Taking this one to 6 games, respectable. I appreciate that.
Yeah, exactly.
And then the last series we haven't talked about, it would be... Did we talk about them all? Did I talk about the Heat, Brooklyn? I did. Talked about them all. Never mind, I talked about them all. I'm like I said, I haven't slept in like a week, so I'm a little bit off my game today.
You forgot the special Chewbacca series.
The Chewbacca series. Yeah, well, he won that one. If you didn't know, they have already given Chewbacca the golden basketball, the NBA Finals award. He's already won that. This is the conciliatory rounds right now, because Chewbacca just shows up at any event he wants to, and they hand him a trophy. It's kind of his like pact with humankind. I will not rip off your arms as long as when I show up, you give me a trophy.
Sometimes he likes to sit in the stadiums though for each of the rounds of his own special bracket of rounds, and he's there. He sits around, and then at the end of the day, they give him some kind of award like multiple times, like, oh, here's your marker for having won this game.
Congratulations, you won without even playing. And he goes, yes, I did. That's how he rolls.
That's right. Otherwise, he chainsaws some people.
Well, I mean, Chewbacca won every single platinum medal in the Olympics, and yeah, you didn't think there was platinum medals in the Olympics, but that's because Chewbacca already won them. So
every Olympics ever.
He won the March Madness tournament in February. That's right, a whole month before it even started, he won it. The Super Bowl, I mean, back last September, they were just like, here's the Lombardi Trophy. If you don't mind, we'd like to present it to somebody else in February just as for show. And he was like, I can do that. So he already won that one, They just announced that he won the Hart Trophy, which is NHL's MVP award. So that's pretty cool, too. Yeah. He has a really big trophy case, if you didn't know. I mean, like... It's humongous. It's the size of like most people's houses times 10. That's how big his.
People don't realize too. It has to be really massive because the awards that they give to Chewbacca are, of course, the higher level awards. So they're even bigger than the ones we usually see. All the ones we usually see are actually runner-up trophies.
That's what. Yeah. Even though some of those are pretty big too. Nope, they're all runners-up to Chewbacca's awards. Yeah. Like that giant Stanley Cup that they hold, like it's humongous. Like I don't have enough camera space to do it that way. But that award that they give him, yeah, Chewbacca's is like 5 times bigger. He literally can put a keg of beer into his cup and then drink it all down within 2 seconds. That's one of Chewbacca's talents.
Little known fact.
We'll be dropping knowledge on you guys. Don't you love us? Words from my face, dropping knowledge. If you know any other Chewbacca knowledge, put it in the comments down below. Because, I even though I live with him, I try not to talk to him as much because he's pretty moody. And he also keeps me up at night, so kind of gets annoying. But, yeah. But that's the NBA Round 2 playoffs. And so we're looking at seeing Oklahoma City, my guess, to beat the Clippers, and you're going to see them play San Antonio, and then in the other side, the Eastern Conference Finals, you're going to have the Heat against the Pacers. So enjoy. We will be talking about them next week. You know it. We can't do a sports show without talking about the best sports event going on right now. Could we? Couldn't do that.
We could. You just wouldn't like to watch.
You just wouldn't listen to us after that.